In the last video I showed you how to purl, so now I know both the knit and purl stitches and can try lots of different stitches and patterns. I also showed you the stockinette stitch where you alternate rows by doing a row of knitted stitches and a row of purled stitches, and today I'll be showing you how to do a basic moss stitch where you alternate knit and purl stitches on the same row. So I've cast on an even number of stitches and knitted my first row. When we have an uneven number of stitches we can always start with a knitted stitch, but when there's an even number we alternate rows between starting with a knit and a purl stitch. And the most important thing to remember when alternating knit and purls is to make sure your yarn is in the right place. So for knit stitches we have to make sure the yarn's at the back, and for purl stitches we have to make sure it's at the front, and you have to remember to change it between every stitch. So because we've got an uneven number of stitches, we begin each row by knitting and then purling. So we knit the first one and then bring the yarn to the front and purl the next one. And then remember again to move the yarn to the back again and knit the next stitch. And then bring the yarn to the front again and purl the next stitch, and we do this for the entire row. If you're working with an even number of stitches and you've put your knitting down for a bit or something and you're not sure whether your last stitch was a knit or a purl, you can tell just by looking at them, because purl stitches have a little bump where they meet the needle and knitted stitches form a V shape. So we can see all the way down the needle we've got alternating bumps and V's, which are our alternating knit and purl stitches. So again, on the next row, because we've got an uneven number of stitches, we start with a knit, and always remember to move the yarn again, alternate knit and purls all the way down the row, and we do this for every row, and that will give you a moss stitch. So here we can see what the moss stitch looks like as it builds, and it's a really nice textured stitch. And all the way down there are alternating bumps, which are your alternating purl stitches.